Efficiency versus art. Which one is the most important when it comes to wedding photography and videography? Hello and welcome to the podcast. I am Taylor Jackson. If you're watching this on YouTube, please enjoy this behind the scenes wedding day from 2019. I'm Taylor Jackson and I photographed over 1,000 weddings all around the world, but none of them have been at a Taco Bell. Maybe someday. I can dream. Today I'm going to be talking to you about something close to my heart, a freshly made Taco Bell Fries Supreme. My favorite part is when the sour cream comes out of that weird caulking tube they have. It's not weird, it's both art and efficiency. Okay, maybe there is more efficiency than art in that example, but there is art in efficiency. Get that on a tattoo, or don't. Let's start with why art is important in wedding photography. There are a few levels at play, and no, it doesn't come down to the preset you use. Art at a core is about your artistic approach to capturing a wedding day. You come into a wedding day as the product of all of the other work that you've ever looked at, whether it's a painting or a great photojournalist. The wider your sources, the more you will hide them. If you are only looking at one wedding photographer for inspiration, there is a good chance that you're going to go into that wedding day with an artistic vision similar to them. Probably a lot less good than them in the beginning at least. Eventually you'll find your way and start creating something that's a little bit more true to you. But we all start out in the beginning by emulating someone else, probably a little too closely. If you're someone that's big into film, chances are your lens choices, lighting, compositions are all going to reflect this. You'll probably be drawn to shoot more horizontal frames as well because of this. And then art is also contingent on your gear. Are you at 28 millimeters f8 all day, or are you at 50 millimeters at f1.2 all day? Which images appeal the most to you? All of these choices and many more are going to determine which kind of art you're going to create. There's also art in how you solve challenges in the creative on wedding days, how you create your own light if needed, or how you just move to the correct spot in the room to find the best light based on what you've seen before working. Then the next form of art is communication. Well, most of a wedding day is photojournalistic. There are times that you're going to have to step in and pose and direct. What is your demeanor? Do you create a romantic and soft and quiet environment, or do you go for laughs and have the most fun possible? There's also art in the culling and the selection of images. Why do you choose one photo over another? Do you include a lot of similar images or only the single best ones? Then in editing, what color palette are you going to choose? Are you going to go with muted highlights, or are you going to let them bloom out? Are you going to run a film emulation and pretend you shot the wedding on Kodachrome, or are you going to leave things a little bit more true to life? And are you going to include black and white images, or are you not going to include black and white images? Then there's also art in the final delivery. It can be an in-person session or an online gallery. Is the online gallery just one big folder of the entire day, or do you open the gallery with a selection of highlight images to give an overview of the day and set that quality standard? And why did you choose the images that are in that preview? Is the password to that gallery generic and boring, or is it something fun you learned about the couple on the wedding day? And let's not even get started on the art of running a business. So many decisions go into creating the art that we create, and it is important, but efficiency is also important. At weddings, we are at the mercy of a timeline. Maybe you have 15 minutes of photos with your couples, maybe you have 2 hours, and while we can suggest what is ideal for us, it rarely goes that way when we want it to. I think this goes for all aspects of a wedding day, but you plan the best you can going in, and you have to be open to the changes as the day unfolds. You have to capture all the important moments, but some moments are a little bit more important than others, and sometimes you get the shots that you like or you think that you should get, and sometimes they have to get passed over in the interest of saving time. Managing time efficiently is also up to you as a photographer. Maybe you have 1 hour total to do family photos, wedding party, and couples photos. Who do you start with, and what happens when it starts to rain halfway through? And that's why weddings are hard. You have to be able to manage multiple responsibilities while also delivering the high quality art that you were hired to create. So let's say there is a big line. On one side of that line is art, and on the other is efficiency. Think about yourself on a wedding day. Where do you fall on that line? Are you in the dead center between art and efficiency, or are you okay to push dinner a few minutes so you can create those few extra sunset photos that you had in mind? Are you someone that's going to be setting up multiple unique setups for the bridal party, or are you just going to have them all stand in a line for that photo and then all look at each other and laugh in that photo and then they're off to cocktails? I think we all have a different place on the scale between art and efficiency, and none of us are right or wrong. The goal is to connect with your ideal couple that also values exactly where you're at on that scale. Some couples will absolutely be hiring an artist first. Others will just want 3 photos of them together and that's it. I was talking with my friend Joey Wong at a cafe in New York a few weeks ago. We met in Toronto in the wedding scene 15 years ago, and now he's more into the luxury space in Manhattan. And he said something pretty interesting, that most of his couples just want 5 to 10 minutes of some standard photos of the two of them, a few family photos, and then they just want to get back to the day. To add something even more interesting to this, he said a lot of the time it's the parents or event planner hiring him, and he might not even talk to the couple before the wedding day. And when I'm speaking luxury Manhattan, I'm talking $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 for a wedding day. Overall, they trust him to show up as a professional and do the work that he's promised and that the couple and the family and everyone's going to look good in as fast and efficiently as possible. And to add to this, or to add to the easiness of this, the couples probably already know the poses that they're going to do, that they're already comfortable enough. The families, they know exactly how to get together for a quick family photo. It's very easy. Now my question to you is there still art in this? Or does the wedding photography journey kind of come back full circle in on itself? My first few weddings, I was absolutely hired as a button pusher. I was a very inefficient button pusher at that. My couple wanted to know that I did decent enough work, but they didn't really care about me or my work or doing anything artistic. A lot of them would take full control of the family photos. They would tell us that we're doing photos in this hot field with no shade. And I would be challenged if I told everyone that we had to turn around and use a different background because the background that they chose just had hot sun on their face and it just didn't look good. Then eventually your ideal couples start to find you and you start to get hired by couples that actually love your work and they essentially want to collaborate on the wedding day. This means they're open to your ideas as well as they might have a few of their own, but they're not married to them. They trust you as a professional and people aren't second guessing and trying to take over the photo session. At this point, you kind of feel like you're photographing your friends' weddings week after week. A lot of those couples become lifelong friends or at the very least stay in touch over Instagram for years. They respect you and the art that you create. But then, now Joey's telling me that when you hit the extreme high-end luxury market, you're kind of right back to being a button pusher. Kind of. I would say that now the trust aspect outweighs the work that you can create. They trust you to execute the job quickly and efficiently, that you're going to dress well and your personality is going to be a fit for the room. Now this comes to you. Are you fine with giving up some of your artistic control in exchange for more of a paycheck? And does that make your place on that art to efficiency line slide? And is there anything wrong with that? Or is it okay that you're on a different spot on that line at every single wedding based on your couple? My thoughts are this. As a wedding photographer, you have to be a good artist, but you also have to do your job efficiently, at least on a wedding day. Well, we are the center of our own universes and we might seem really important to ourselves. The wedding day is not about us and our work. I think the best service that you can provide to your couple is creating work that makes them look great in as fast of way as possible. Not to say rushed, but just efficient. Their wedding day is likely one of the only times they're going to have all of their friends and family in a room together. And I would like to get them back to that room. If they've expressed interest in being in cocktail hour, I am going to make that happen. And maybe that means that we have to go out later for a few more photos while the guests are eating dinner to finish photos with the two of them. A great example of art and efficiency is my friend Jason Vincent. And if you don't know Jason, he's an off-camera flash lighting wizard, creates some incredibly beautiful artistic work. And if he is going to do any of his really creative setups with off-camera flash, he will get everything set up with a second photographer or someone else as a stand-in. And then he'll go in, grab the couple for 1 or 2 minutes to get the shot and send them back to their wedding. I think the takeaway is the more you get out and work, the more the artist side of your brain can work efficiently in the background. This also means that decision-making gets easier and you have less decision fatigue on a wedding day. You feel a lot less burnt out at the end of a long day. And hopefully the lack of that burnout allows you to be more artistic and more creative into a longer wedding day. So, wedding photography is not art versus efficiency. It is art and efficiency. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you again next week.